Wah, 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 wah.
What are you doing, Ken?
I'm getting my ducks in a row.
Moving forward with the Dekker Team. Moving forward together with the Dekker Team.
Welcome to another episode of Life's Inside Track. I'm Yetta Dekker.
And I'm Ken Dekker.
And it's where we get to share techniques, thoughts, tips, tools, tactics, and some silliness that we all need, we all deserve. You, I, everyone, so we can turn our house into home, our families thrive, and we live the best life possible while building wealth wisely through real estate. We're going to consider house hunting can be super exciting or horribly chaotic. Preparation is the difference maker.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and I think part of that preparation, Yetta, is understanding the basics of real estate. And, you know, maybe you've sold many times, or maybe you haven't sold, or maybe it's been 10 years since you sold. But I recommend you go back to our show on March 7th, 2025, and listen to the basics. We go through it very quickly, and there's a lot in there. And we didn't go super deep, but we wanted you to know the basics so that you can get prepared and know what questions to ask.
And when you understand something, the whole point of this is we're spending an entire month on the basics of real estate in one facet or another, but the foundational basics were March 7th. And the point of that is we want you to avoid costly mistakes. Mm-hmm. We want you to save money or gain money, as the case may be, stay out of court, and actually enjoy the experience while thriving through the process. And when we don't understand something, we tend to, as humans, make greater number of errors, and they're more catastrophic and be more stressed out through the process.
Right.
And we don't want that.
Right. And this show, by the way, is for buyers, whether first-time buyers, move-up buyers, move-down buyers. If you're a buyer or you know a buyer, this is a great show.
Right. And even if you're somebody that is selling and then buying, you're still buying, right? So a lot of times people put themselves in one camp or the other, depending on what they're doing in that moment. And more often than not, most sellers are also buyers. And even if you've done a lot of real estate transactions, like 10, 15, it has changed a lot in our industry.
Yep.
Year over year over year. In the last 2 years, there's been more changes than like forever. And also, how on earth are you supposed to remember the nuances of an industry that you're not in every moment?
That's right.
That's our job.
We stay on top of it, and it's work, and we're in it every day.
For 35 years each. That sounds like a long, because I'm only 34 in my head. So I've been in the industry longer than I've been alive. How does that work?
That's amazing.
It is. And we want to invite you once again. We don't want to be remiss. There's only another week until, not even a week less, like a day, to the Building Wealth Wisely workshop. I think there'll still be tickets. Let me know if you can't get any on the website. Call me directly and I'll figure out how to squeeze you into the room.
Where would they call you directly at?
613-863-6058. 613-863-6058.
You want to write down that number because Yetta doesn't give that out very often.
No.
That's her personal cell number, 613-863-6058. You heard it here first.
You're enjoying this way too much. Otherwise, just go to the dekkerteam.com website and you can get access there.
Beautiful.
Right?
Yes.
And so really what we want to talk about is what are those things financially that we need to do to be ready?
Prepared to buy.
Well, I thought we were calling it financial readiness.
Yeah, it is. Your financial readiness.
Which makes you prepared to buy.
Yeah, is where's your down payment come from? Have you saved it up? Is somebody gifting it to you? Are you borrowing it from another property?
Is it coming from your RRSP?
Yeah. Is it coming from your first-time home buyers?
Which we talked about
last
month. So there are literally over 686 Life's Inside Track episodes. And if you're watching them on YouTube, they're broken into 3-minute segments, which means there's over 1,900.
3 10-minute segments.
What did I say?
3-minute segments.
Oh, we talk fast, but you could put us on super speed, triple speed.
Yeah, you could.
Get it down to 3 minutes.
You could get it down to 3 minutes.
You could. Anyway, number 2.
No, hold on. I'm not finished with the deposit thing. The down payment. Yeah, the deposit is money you have, earnest money that you give with the offer or at the time of acceptance of the offer.
Yeah, you need that accessible too.
You need that accessible, but it forms part of your down payment. And your down payment, depending on whether you're going through an insured mortgage or a regular mortgage, is 5% for the first 500, and then 10% for the next million is what you need for a down payment if you're going through insured, or if you're buying a triplex or a fourplex that you're actually living in, it's 10%. If you're buying a 1 or 2, like a single family or a duplex, and you're living in one of the units, then it's 5% up to 500,000. Above that, it's 10%
on the increase.
On the increase over 500. Right. So that's an important piece.
It is.
And then if you're not going through insurance, you need 20% down.
Most of the time.
Mm-hmm.
Sometimes they will ask for more. The first house we ever bought, they asked for 50% or wanted to buy because it had some issues. So just because a house has issues doesn't mean you can't buy it. Mm-hmm. It means you probably can't buy it insured.
Right.
So
then the next piece
is career and business stability.
Stability.
Well, I slow that one down.
Do you think it's more stable when you slow it down?
Yeah. It creates a stability.
Oh.
In the sheer way it's said. There's so many different tricks we can play on our brain to help us remember things. Mm-hmm. And what does career stability or business stability means? It means that you haven't shifted jobs in quite some time. Unless you're in the same industry, then potentially you can have a newer job, but still in the same company or the same industry. Position won't affect the job stability, mm-hmm. but you don't want to have just started a new business. You're going to want 2 or 3 years worth of really solid business statements to be a highly viable candidate to get a great mortgage. Yeah.
And then protect your credit rating. If you want the best interest rates, you want to get up over 680 on your credit score.
And then GDS and TDS, just know that those are ratios that the financial institutions use. Even private lenders will look at those numbers. All types of lenders will want to know what your ratios are. And
those acronyms are gross debt service ratio.
And total debt service ratio.
And total includes all your loans, all your line of credit, all your credit cards, all that. And your gross debt service ratio is the mortgage payment, interest and principal, and the taxes, and maybe part of the condo fee.
Correct. And then very last one that we're going to talk about right now, what is important?
Avoid
like the plague.
Yeah.
Any new
debt.
So even those no pay a cent events will cost you trouble. Mm-hmm. Stay away.
Yeah. So my question to you is, what story or stories are your finances telling you about your readiness to buy a new home? And we're glad that we can be positioning you to build wealth wisely, because it's about much more than just money.
Moving forward with the Dekker Team. Moving forward together with the Dekker Team.